Hello, ladies and gentlemen. If you look up there at the top of the screen, there's a video that I did 4 months ago with or about one of my coaching clients who had fully embraced honesty to the most incredible level where he was literally texting women on dating apps and saying, "Hey, look, I'm going to be completely real with you. I find you really attractive. I'd love to meet up, see if we want to exchange orgasms and have a great time." He was just completely fucking upfront and honest. And obviously, we talk about honesty on this channel a lot. You don't have to be this completely honest, but this is a guy who decided to embrace extreme honesty, and beautiful things happened. I've been wanting to get him on the channel to talk through his time in the coaching program, what he learned, how he was able to be this completely and utterly extremely honest. But he's been very busy and we've had some sort of scheduling issues. So I thought it would be fun to go through and read his final post in the group. And I have his permission to post this. I've taken out any names and details and stuff like that. But we'll go through and see what he learned in the coaching program, how he was able to be this extremely honest. And really, it's just practice. But first, I want to talk through a little bit of this guy's backstory. So, when he first came to me for coaching, he had been to a few different pickup artist groups and boot camps and things like that. He had paid, he said, something like $20,000 or $30,000 in total over several years, and all of this stuff to try and get a little bit better with women. And what he found was a lot of the pickup artists that he had picked were sort of pushing things on him that didn't quite sit right with him. He's someone that is probably on the autism spectrum, like I probably am myself a little bit, and a lot of you might be. And so people who are a little bit autistic often want to be a little bit more honest. It's sort of part and parcel with a lot of autism. It's sort of a superpower of autism that you sort of just see things as they are, or as, I guess, as close to reality as you can, and then you just say them. You say like, "Hey, why should we beat around the truth? Why lie? Why fuck around?" And so he had been to all of these sort of pickup artist groups, and they were encouraging him to say the perfect line or hide the truth, or not just tell a woman that you find her attractive and want to take her out on a date and, see if you want to fool around together. They had been giving him all of these pickup lines, and he did it. He was diligent and he did what they told him. And he said, even when he got results, he didn't really like how it felt inside him. He was like, "This isn't authentic. Why am I lying about what I want? Why can't I just tell a woman that I find her attractive? What happens if I run the experiment of just being open and honest and all of that?" And so he had started down this pathway of just being more honest. And then he hit us up for coaching. And he's like, "Hey, I like the stuff that you guys put out. I like that you talk about honesty. I like that you, Andy, are completely honest with your dating life. And if you haven't already seen it, this is the profile that I use. And Emmy, my girlfriend, we date and sleep with women together. She has a very similar profile. And you can see I'm just completely upfront and honest. There's some BDSM pictures in there. There's pictures of my girlfriend. If you look on the right-hand side, it says I'm in an open relationship. We're both into BDSM. We're both good at teaching. The way to win me over is don't be afraid to say, "Hey, I'll take care of the rest." So obviously a very upfront and honest profile. And from the very first message that we send, we basically just say, "This is what we're looking for. Are you looking for this?" Here's an example text conversation. You can see, straight from the start, we're like, "Hey, my girl and I, her name is Emmy, enjoy exploring BDSM and kink with women, helping them open up in and out of the bedroom. Is a BDSM or threesome dynamic something that you'd like to explore?" And then we kind of just go from there. And we get a phone number, we send some messages, we show some BDSM pictures of ourselves, and we ask if she would like to send us some nude pictures of herself. And if she wants to, she can. If she doesn't want to, that's beautiful too. Then we meet up for a drink, we have a good time. And then we save the sex stuff for the second date because we like to make sure that we got a good feel for someone and they got a good feel for us and all of that. And then we do BDSM and kink. So pretty upfront and honest. And so this coaching client really liked all of that, or this guy liked all of that and hit us up for coaching and was like, "I want to really turbocharge my honesty." And more than anything, he came to us for a group of like-minded people who wouldn't judge him for his honesty, because he had, with some of these pickup artist boot camps, tried being a little bit more authentic and honest and who he is. And he had been chastised for it by some of these pickup artists and these coaches that he had paid money to, tens of thousands of dollars to. And some of them had said, "Don't be honest. You can't do that. You'll get rejected. Women will hurt you." And he said, "I don't care if I get rejected. Why are we so scared of rejection? Why do I need to run away from that and hide what I really want? Why should I lie just so that I don't get hurt? That doesn't seem what I want to be. And he'd kind of butt heads with a few of these pickup artists and felt like maybe they just weren't teaching him or allowing him to be the person that he wanted to be. So he hit us up for coaching to really go hardcore with his honesty, and more than anything, so that he could have a group of like-minded people that would support him to be the best person that he wanted to be. All right, enough rambling, enough pre-ramble. Let's get straight into it. So this is the last post that he made, and he says, "This is my farewell post, but this isn't the end, but the beginning of much love, prosperity, wealth, freedom, and abundance in all aspects of my life, with a focus on never-ending self-improvement." Yeah, this was absolutely a guy that threw himself into the deep end of self-improvement, and he would take baby steps and sometimes giant steps every single day, and he showed up, and he struggled sometimes. He went through some ruts, but he was incredibly, incredibly courageous and consistent. So absolute legend of a human being. He goes on to say, "I want to thank everybody here for being on my team and supporting me and encouraging me in some way. And I truly appreciate the brotherhood, and it will always matter to me." Again, that's sort of what he was seeking. He directly told me that on our very first call. You know, I do calls with people, free calls with people, to make sure that coaching programs are a good fit for them. You know, they're a good fit for the coaching program. Maybe give them a little bit of free coaching and talk through some things and then see if they want to sign up. And that was what he said in that very first call. He's like, "I really just want a group of people that will believe in me," because he'd already been taking action. He'd already hooked up with a few women. He'd already been honest and all of that. And I even sort of said to him, sometimes, you know, we have people that come to the group and it's maybe not super obvious what they want from the coaching group because they're already taking action. They're already winning. They're already doing a good job. And so I'll just be completely raw and real with people. And I'll say, "What do you want from the coaching program? Like, it sounds like you're already kicking ass, man. Like, why do you want to give me $11,000? Like, what are you looking for?" And literally what he said is, "I want a bunch of people that will believe in me and support me and push me when I'm down and believe that I can achieve greatness. I just want you guys to love me and care about me." That was basically what he was seeking. Joining this group gave me that extra spark that I needed to take action ever since joining. Here is a list of my accomplishments ever since I joined. And my God, he did a lot. I posted on the Facebook group 90+% of the time. Yeah, so that's one of the things that we get people to do in the coaching program is we say post in the Facebook group, which I'm in there, so are the other 3 coaches, and we coach people. A lot of the coaching happens through that Facebook group. I will record videos and voice messages for people. I will write them long essays, and the other coaches will help them as well, and everybody sort of supports each other as well. Like, all of the clients are in that group, and so they all push each other. And one of the things that we say a lot is if you can post every single day and be consistent, and if you miss some days here or there, that's fine. But try and post as much as you can, because the people that post the most make the most progress, because the coaches can get in there and coach you every fucking day. And so even if all you're writing is like, "Hey guys, I had a decent day today," good. I can then record you a motivational podcast or a motivational voice message or something and really push you and help you. And so any of you that aren't in my coaching program or aren't in a coaching program, if you can do the same thing and learn from this, get some sort of like forum that you can be on or a Facebook group. You're obviously very welcome to just come to the coaching program, but I know that some of you don't have a lot of money. But get someone or a group of people that can support you, no matter what your goals are. It doesn't matter if your goals are talking to women, getting a girlfriend, getting a boyfriend. It doesn't matter. Whatever your goals might be, even if it's business, self-improvement, self-love, whatever, get people to help you. Like, nothing that I've ever done in my life has been by myself. I'll say that again because sometimes people miss that. Nothing I have ever achieved in my life has been by myself. I am not the lone wolf. When I tried to be the lone wolf for like 8 or 9 years, I was depressed and suicidal. And so have some friends or have some accountability or get a coaching program or whatever you want to do, but get some people to help you, not just with your goals, but with life, man. So many of you come to the coaching and you'll say, "I don't feel very happy with my sex life. I don't feel very happy with my life in general." One of the first things that we'll say is like, "Okay, like, what's your social life like? Like, how many friends do you have? Do they help you? What do they do?" And you're like, "I don't have any friends." And it's like, holy shit, well, that's why you're depressed. Like, fucking work on that. Human beings are social creatures. We love connection. We appreciate people helping us, even if sometimes it can be difficult to ask for help. So get some sort of accountability. He goes on to say he posted on the Discord accountability group 90% of the time. So along with the coaching, we also have a Discord group, which is like a members only group. So only people who've been through the coaching program can be in there, and people get to stay in there for life. And so they keep each other accountable. They coach each other. Some of the coaches are in there giving advice and motivation and essentially free coaching. Like you get to be in there for life for free. So it's essentially like free coaching. And we've sort of kept that as part of the coaching program because if people just come to the coaching for 12 weeks, which is how long the coaching program usually is, yeah, we can make massive changes in your life. And then what? What happens after that? And so what I found was a lot of people were coming to us or me for coaching, changing their life in 3 months. And then they would hit me up a year later and be like, hey, man, I haven't really done a lot in the last like 9 months since I stopped the coaching. I think I want to pay you again. And yes, I fucking love more money. Isn't that incredible? But I love more than that, people actually having long-term change. I didn't feel necessarily good about people going, hey, I was effective for 3 months and I kicked ass and then I fell off the wagon. So the Discord group that people are in for life keeps you accountable for life. So yeah, again, you can see how much of the coaching program is about accountability and having other people that help you. And so again, you're welcome to come to my coaching program or our coaching program. But if not, I would suggest that you come up with some sort of fucking accountability and some sort of friends. Again, life is a multiplayer game that we often try and play on single player, and that's playing on nightmare mode. So he goes on to say, I went and participated in every group coaching call. He did. So we have like weekly group coaching calls. I didn't miss a single coaching call. So what's hilarious there, or not hilarious, but what he did, where he was an absolute legend, is because he was doing such crazy cool things like messaging women, and we'll get into this in a second, but messaging women and just literally saying, yo, you're sexy. I'll be completely honest with you. I'd love to exchange orgasms. I'd love to grab a drink with you, grab a coffee or whatever, and then see if we want to exchange orgasms together. Like just being fucking upfront. Because he was like doing really advanced shit on a lot of the coaching calls, other guys they'd have a question and I would answer the question, and then, Cam and Ed and Taylor, the other coaches, would answer, they'd give their input too. And then so many fucking times I threw to this guy and I was like, hey, bro, do you want to answer? Do you want to give your input too? And he would coach some of the other clients as well. And we get that a lot in the coaching program. Like a lot of people are very knowledgeable. We have like people that are multi-millionaires. And so if someone's coming to the group for business advice, yeah, I'll give my advice, and so will the other coaches. And then I'll throw to the multimillionaire and be like, hey, multimillionaire, do you have any advice to give? Because you're way further ahead than me and the rest of us. So what do you suggest? So that's one of the cool benefits of the coaching program is you're with people that are just doing crazy advanced shit. And I really appreciate it. And I was very grateful for this particular guy, how many of the other coaching clients that he gave advice to. And he was like, look, I promise you can be honest. Like, look at what I'm doing. I'm doing extreme honesty. And yes, some people don't like my extreme honesty, but for the most part, most people appreciate that I'm being this upfront and honest and saying what I want. And so he helped coach a lot of the other guys, which I really, really, really appreciated. We were very grateful for that. He gave a lot of love to other people. So he goes on to say, I grew my vulnerability muscle. Yeah, he fucking did. And my willingness to take action muscle. Yep, he absolutely did. He meal prepped and worked out every day. Yeah, some people come to the coaching literally just for that accountability shit of like, I want to go to the gym 5 days a week or whatever, but I'm worried that I won't do it on my own. Can you guys in the group keep me accountable? And I'm like, hell yeah, brother, post every day and we'll give you a little pep talk and be like, go to the gym, brother, you got this. It's going to be so fun. So yeah, a lot of you are just looking for accountability. That's, like I said, one of the biggest benefits to being either in a coaching program or some sort of forum or something is that people give a shit about you and they will help you win. They will pick you up when you're down. They will be there for you and give you a bit of love, because sometimes it can be a little bit hard to give that shit to yourself. If you're only running on willpower and motivation, sometimes those go away. And then what are you going to do? That's where you have other people that you're almost like delegating your motivation and willpower to. That's essentially what you're paying for in a coaching program. You're paying the coach and maybe the other clients, if it's a group coaching program, you're paying them to delegate your motivation to. So you're not relying on your own willpower. You have the willpower of an entire group, which is always going to be more than just you yourself. So he goes on to say, I attracted and had sex with 2 women from Tinder, 3 chicks from Woo Plus. So if you don't know what Woo Plus is, I had no freaking idea what it was. And I was like, what's Woo Plus, brother? And it's basically I'll say this in a nice way. It's an app for ladies who are a little bit more curvaceous. There you go. I phrased that in a very nice way. So my boy likes what do they call them? Like they're thick thick. Is that what you call them? Thick, THICC. So he likes thick girls. He likes them a little juicier. He likes them with a little bit of junk in the trunk. And Woo Plus is an app for that. So at some point he had 5 women that he was dating at one time. Yeah, because he had a bunch of other women that he met as well from, that he already had before, and he was doing some approaches and stuff like that. So he at one point literally said to us, guys, I'm dating 5 women at once. I think this is too many. And I've found the same thing in my own life. Back in the day, I used to, like when I was really going hard with the numbers game and all of this stuff, yeah, there were 2 points where I was dating 5 women at the same time. And at that point I was like, this is a lot to juggle. Because if you're only seeing each woman once per week, then that's 5 days that you're going to be having sex. And at that point, you're just like, holy shit, I got no time for anything else. And any more than that is just going crazy. So yeah, I got to those same realizations too that he did, where it's like, okay, maybe I only want to date like 2, maybe 3 women at once. Like that's more than enough. That's like crazy good amounts. And any more than that, it just becomes almost like the logistics of like trying to organize it and juggle it and all of that becomes a lot. And it can obviously be a little bit more of a challenge to build a deeper connection with people if you're seeing 5 women at once. And there's nothing wrong with keeping it casual and a little bit less like invested if that's what you're looking for. But this is a guy who likes to build stuff with people. And I'm not sure if he's going to talk about this in this thing, so maybe I'll just insert my own little footnote right now. Quite a few of the women that he dated, he ended up like dating for quite a long time, and his mindset was sort of, I would love to date these women for as long as I possibly can, and if they want to see me for years, I would love that. And so yeah, he got to the same realization where he's like, 5 is a lot. If I'm going to be like building something with some of these women, like 5 is a lot. But yeah, like it's really beautiful that he got to this level of abundance. And you guys can't see what he looked like because he would like to remain anonymous because he works a job that he wants to sort of stay anonymous. But I'll phrase it like this, and this was something that we talked about a lot in the coaching program with him. He was the first person to admit this. He's like, guys, I'm not super attractive. I have a lot of weight to lose. I'm kind of chubby. We helped him with his grooming and his style and his fashion because when he came to us, he looked like just an average guy. But here's a really good example, and he said this a million times, where he's just like, I play the numbers game so hardcore, and he doesn't necessarily talk about it here, but he was talking to like hundreds of women a week on like 10 different dating apps and going out in person and approaching and meeting people through meetups and social circles and all sorts of shit. He was really playing the numbers game. And it's funny because we had a couple of guys in the group that were really fucking attractive, and he was accountability partners with a couple of them. And I'll talk about that in a second. But there are a couple of guys in the group that were ridiculously fucking attractive. Meanwhile, this guy was, I don't know, he looked like slightly above average, and we helped get him further with that. We helped him improve his appearance and fashion and style and lose some weight and all of that. But this guy, the guy that I'm showing on the screen right now, was fucking crushing it with his results. He was the one that was sleeping with a bunch of women. He was the one that was being open and honest and all of this. And then these attractive guys who looked like fucking like one of them looked like a fucking supermodel. He's literally a bodybuilder and all of that. But because these bodybuilders and supermodel guys in the group weren't playing the numbers game as hard, they weren't getting the results that this guy was getting. And they were a little bit frustrated. And there were even some group conversations. The group is a very open, safe place to talk about feelings and jealousy and all of that. A couple of the more attractive guys literally said, look, I'll be real. I'm kind of frustrated that this guy, the guy I'm showing on the screen right now, is having better results than me. Like, I don't know a nice way to say this, but I put years into my body. I look like a fucking god. I'm a bodybuilder. And he just looks like above average. And it's like, yeah, but he's playing the numbers game. And so we talked through all of that and all of that. But that's a really good example of how a lot of you will say, I'm not the most attractive, or maybe I'm short, or, like me, maybe you're a beautiful, bold boy, and you say, therefore, it's not going to work. What's the point in trying? This guy was the perfect example of someone who wasn't the most attractive and had some weight to lose and didn't dress the best. And yes, we helped him with all of those things, but he wasn't like some supermodel, but he played the numbers game like fucking crazy. And he would even say sometimes in the group calls, man, I'm really having to play the numbers game. Like the vast majority of women reject me or just aren't interested in me. He didn't see it as a rejection. He's like, they just don't want what I'm offering. They're not interested in dating me. And so, holy shit, I'm having to play the numbers game. But I don't care that 99% of the women say no to me or say that I'm not attractive enough to be this sexual and be this open and be this upfront. I don't care. I'm just looking for the one woman who is willing to say yes. And then we have a great time together. And he found them. He found lots of those women. So, yeah, it's about playing the numbers game, going really hard, and obviously improve your looks and be more attractive and all of that along the way. That's what we helped him with. That will make the biggest difference. Losing a lot of weight or some weight, getting down to almost abs or going to the gym for a year or two, improving your fashion, improving your grooming. Yes, that stuff will get you the biggest results when it comes to dating, particularly when it comes to casual sex. But along with that, just playing the numbers game and having a healthy sense of self-love. This guy definitely loved himself, and that was something that we helped him with, the mindset stuff. But yeah, he's a really good example that you don't have to be perfect to get some results, It's just about going out there and actually trying. So he goes on to say, he had 10 plus phone conversations where he was mode 1 hardcore, 30 seconds or less into the conversation. And you might be like, what in the fuck is mode 1 hardcore? So this was just another guy that he was learning from. And I believe the guy's name was Alan Roger Curry or something like that. And this guy teaches a thing called Mode 1 Hardcore, which is just basically being upfront and honest. It's literally just being like, yo, you're fucking sexy. I find you sexy. And so he basically had phone sex with like 10 or so women, which was really funny. Everybody loved hearing about those stories where he would literally just, meet a woman on a dating app, just be like, hey, I'd love to get a drink and exchange orgasms with you. He would get their phone number. Then he'd say, hey, I'd love to call you. Can I call you right now? And she'd go, sure. And then he'd call them and be like, hey, what's up, sexy? Like, what are you up to right now? She'd be like, not much. And he'd be like, do you want to have phone sex? And she'd be like, what? Like some of the women would be like, what? You can't ask me that. And he'd be like, well, I am asking you that. And hey, look, if you don't want it, no hard feelings. I completely understand. We can just grab a drink or a coffee and keep it casual and keep it chill. But yeah, if you'd like to have phone sex right now, let me know. And some of them would be like, what? What? And he'd be like, well, you don't have to say yes. You don't have to say whatever you want. Like, do you want to? And lots of them, as I'm sure you could imagine, were like, no, I don't really think I want to have phone sex with someone that I just gave my phone number to, but I'm willing to meet you for a drink. And he'd be like, beautiful. Great. I'll come up with a bar. How about we meet here Friday night? And he met quite a few of those women and had sex with a few of them. Some of the women were just like, no, that's like too upfront for me. I'm not interested in that. He'd be like, beautiful. I hope you find what you're looking for. He was a very like gentle, loving soul, which just makes it even more beautiful and also funny that he was so upfront with the sexuality stuff. Because some of these women would say like, no, I'm not comfortable with that. I don't want to have phone sex with you, and I don't think I want to date you. And he'd be like, that's beautiful. Listen, I can tell that you're a beautiful soul. I think you're going to find, the right man for you. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. Go out there and just keep putting yourself out there. Have a great time. It was really nice of you to talk to me. Thank you. I hope you have a beautiful day. And quite a few of the women were like, wow, thank you. Like, I hope you have a beautiful day too. Like, why were you so upfront with the sexuality? And he's like, because I don't want to waste time. Like, I know what I want, and I'm looking for the people that want that too. And quite a few of the women literally said, wow, I respect that. It's very strange, but I respect it. And he was like, hey, beautiful, go have a nice life. But what happened with some of the women, more than 10 of them, is they were like, do you say this to all the girls? Do you just say like, do you want to have phone sex? And he's like, yeah, like I like to be honest. And some of them were like, huh, why are you so confident? And he even had some of them say, why are you so confident when you're not the most hardcore attractive person? He's like, why do I have to be super ultra mega attractive to be confident? I'm just being honest with you. I don't need to be confident. I'm just being honest. And some of those women were like, okay, well, I don't know how to have phone sex now. Like, I don't know what we're doing. And he would just launch into it. He'd be like, what are you wearing right now? And then she'd be like, well, I guess I'm wearing a dress. And he'd be like, what's under the dress? And then they would just get to having phone sex. So we always loved those stories. This guy was just so unbelievably upfront and honest while also being gentle and compassionate and not being combative and completely understanding that most of the women that he said this with were not super fucking ready for it. It's like, holy shit, no, I don't want to have phone sex with you when I just gave you my phone number. He'd be like, hey, beautiful. That's great. I love that you know what you want and what I want and all of that. So Yeah, that's basically what mode 1 hardcore means. So he was basically just upfront from the beginning. And he goes on to say that strengthened my balls and backbone a lot. Yeah, he was incredibly fucking courageous. And a lot of the guys in the group were just taking notes from what he was doing. They're like, holy shit, dude, how are you just doing this? And he's like, you just take a chance and you be honest and vulnerable. And yeah, it can be scary. Some of the women say, like, no, you can't be that upfront with me. You can't be that sexual. And then you just be nice to them and you say, hey, I understand. Like, I get that what I'm doing might not be for you. And yeah, I get that most guys aren't this upfront and honest and sexual from the beginning. But yeah, I have no doubt you're going to go out and have a great experience with some other guy and you're going to find some guy that'll be perfect for you. That's beautiful. So it's being that upfront and honest while also matching that with compassion, love, and not being butthurt when inevitably some of the people say, no, I don't want to have phone sex with you. And that's weird that you're saying that. Yes, some people will tell you that it's fucking weird because it's very unusual, that you're telling them immediately, I would like to exchange orgasms with you, or do you want to see if we want to exchange orgasms together? Just like me with my BDSM stuff, being upfront about that. Yeah, some women say, holy shit, no, I don't want to do BDSM with you and your weird girlfriend. And I go, hey, beautiful. I hope you go out there and find what you're looking for. You know, you're going to have a great experience with someone else. That's beautiful. It was nice talking to you. And some of them are still not very happy, and that's okay. Like, that's part of what being upfront and honest can come with. And so we just match that with a little bit of compassion, kindness, empathy, and love for the people that don't want what we want, and maybe sometimes a little bit angry when really all we were doing was being upfront and honest. You're not being like crass or anything. You're not saying like, yo, I'm going to fuck you. You know, he would always say it in a very gentle way of like, would you like to see if we want to meet up and exchange orgasms? But yeah, some people weren't like that, and fair enough. So he goes on to say he made 10 plus different dating profiles. Yeah, he tried a whole bunch of different pictures. He says he took imperfect action with his current pictures that he had. Yeah, and we taught him to go out and take some better pictures and all of that. He didn't make excuses about things being perfect, like needing to be perfect or not. And he took action regardless. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like he was tempted at the start. We had a couple of conversations about it. He was tempted to say, should I wait until I lose weight? Like, should I go and lose a bunch of weight before I take some pictures and before I go on dating apps? And we're like, no, man, like lose the weight while you work on this. And we've had that same sort of discussion with quite a few coaching clients. We've had some guys in the program that are like morbidly obese. Like I literally mean like 100, 150 pounds to lose, like very big, heavy guys. And they're tempted to say, I should just only focus on the weight. And we say, look, put most of your time and attention to the weight loss and self-love, because there's a reason that you got that big. Like there will be reasons. Let's tease those out and be gentle with that and be loving, and we'll basically give you counseling and stuff like that. But at the same time, start at least taking some tiny little baby steps towards putting yourself out there. Either go outside and just talk to some women. You don't have to hit on them. You don't have to do any of that, but just at least start talking to some women and seeing that some of them will be nice to you, and practicing your social skills. Go out there and talk to some guys too, like practice your social skills and start putting yourself on the dating apps. And yeah, you might not get a lot of matches if you're morbidly obese. That's okay. But at least start going on some dates with some women. Be open-minded about who you meet, and they will be open-minded about meeting you. And then you guys can see if you want to have some fun together. And we've had, like I said, some guys that have been morbidly obese. One guy in particular that I can think of who ended up hitting on a bunch of women. He really struggled with that. It took him like a good 6 weeks of coaching before he hit on his first woman, because he was so low with the self-esteem. And this is 6 weeks of going out there, like walking around and not being able to hit on a woman. And we just gave him a lot of love, and we told him like, look, man, I promise if you just keep putting yourself out there, you'll eventually do this. We're here with you. Finally, after 6 weeks, he got one of the other coaches, Ed, to go out with him. Like he flew to where Ed lives and said, Ed, can you just take me out and we go out for a walk and you can help me talk to girls? And Ed did. He ended up hitting on a bunch of women, and eventually he had sex with 2 women in his 12 weeks of coaching, even while morbidly obese and thinking that he didn't deserve any women and any of that. We've had a couple of women in the coaching group who've been a little bit heavier, and they've had the same sort of doubts of, I can't find a man, I have a little bit of weight to lose. And we've said, look, lose the weight, yes, and then you'll find that you have more options, and maybe the people that match with you might be more attractive and all of that, yes. But would you like to right now still put yourself out there anyway? And some of them have really struggled with the self-doubt and like, fuck, but like, what if I get rejected? What if no one likes me because I'm a little bit heavier? And we go, look, you don't have to do this, but would you like to do this? And they go, okay, I'd like to put myself on the dating apps. And some of them have found amazing happiness and people that are interested in them and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, it doesn't have to be a deal breaker. Anyway, getting off track a little bit here. So he's basically saying that he took action even when he wasn't perfect. He mass messaged and swiped every single day on all dating profiles. Yeah, he played the numbers game like crazy. I'm talking like literally hundreds of women a week that he was talking to, either on the apps or in person. He said he got laid from a nightclub mass approaching. Yeah, like I said, he went out to clubs as well and approached a bunch of women after a girl flaked on him too. I remember that, yeah. A lot of guys, a lot of people, if someone flakes on them, you take it very personally. But we were able to help him sort of work through that. Really, he did a lot of this on his own. He was already taking a lot of action, but we gave him a bit of love and said like, hey man, do you want to just go out to a club anyway or something? Like, do you want to put yourself out there? And he did. He just approached a bunch of women. He was very honest, like, hey, I find you sexy. Do you want to chat for a bit? Some of the women say no. Some of the women said yes, and he ended up having sex. He said he approached almost every single day with new women. Yep, he did. He absolutely busted his butt. He even took an exam. Yeah, I remember this. So there was a sort of course that came with a test at the end of it that he wanted to take, and he'd been procrastinating it for ages. And so he finally took this course. He was worried that he didn't know anything and he'd fail. And yeah, he did fail. The first time he took it, he got 46% on the test. So he failed. He didn't pass. And he felt like he'd put all this time and effort into it, and he felt a little bit down on himself, but we gave him some love. We're like, bro, why don't you just take the test again? And then the next time he took the test, he got a 75% on it, and he was really happy with himself. He's like, holy shit. Because I'm sure you could imagine if you get 46% on the first test, you might be tempted to say, maybe I'm stupid. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe this isn't for me. And yeah, he had those doubts and those limiting beliefs, but we just gave him the permission. Really, he gave it to himself to try again. So often in life, we will try something. The first time it doesn't work out the way that we wanted it to, or the way that we hoped. And then we just throw in the towel, right? And we're like, fuck it, I must be a retard. It's like, no, just try again. Or you go up and you talk to 5 women or 10 women, none of them are single, or none of them give you a phone number. You go, see, I must be a fucking loser. It's like, what are you talking about? I laugh, but like, I went through the same thing too, where a bunch of women say no to you and you're like, shit, maybe I must be ugly. And it's like, no, just go talk to more women. And yes, improve yourself along the way as you talk to more women, but go put yourself out there. Try, and try again. You have unlimited retries. The first failure is not even a failure. It's just a step. There's a nice little acronym that I like. FAIL, FAIL. Stands for first attempt in learning. It's your first attempt at learning. You didn't fail, you were just learning something, so you try again. He goes on to say, I studied almost every day. Yep. I bought 3 to 5 domain names for new blogs. Yeah, so fucking hell, this guy took so much action. He'd wanted to help other people, and he was already helping people through the coaching program, like a lot. And so I said to him, do you want to start a blog, man? Like, you're writing these long fucking posts in the group. Like, he would write these long essays, and you're going to see at the end of this post that I'm showing you on the screen, he gives a little bit of a motivational message to all of you and all of the remaining coaching clients that were in the group or that are in the group. He gave a little pep talk. You'll see that at the end. And so I said, man, you're giving all these pep talks. This is the kind of shit that Andy, was doing when I was working on my sex and dating life. I was giving pep talks to other people, and then people gently encouraged me, sometimes aggressively encouraged me to start my own blog. And I'm really glad that I did. And now I'm sitting here in front of all of you on a YouTube channel, and I have a Spotify podcast and, a Twitter and an Instagram and all of that shit. And I get to help people, and it brings me a lot of joy. Is that something that you could see yourself doing? Would you like to try that? And he was like, fuck yes. And so he was putting all this pressure on himself, and he's like, I don't know what the blog name will be. And I was like, bro, just come up with like 5 different blog names. Just buy them all. You can buy like a domain name for like $5 or $10 for a year. They're so fucking cheap now. Buy a bunch of them for like $50 total, and then you can pick which one you want. That's what I did in the early days. And you're allowed to change your name later, like your domain name later, but just start writing if this is something that's fun for you. Like, you're clearly good at writing. You have a lot of love to give to other people, a lot of great advice, a lot of motivation and support. Would you like to start writing? And so he bought a bunch of blogs, and the one that he ended up settling on was called Upfront and Erotic. He started a YouTube channel with the same name. It currently has 26 videos. I think now it has like 30 or something. He was doing a video a day for a while. He did 2 interviews with women. Yeah, that was a big one. Like, that seems like such a small thing, but he wanted to start a podcast or a YouTube channel as well, and he was really nervous to get started. And often just starting is the hardest part. And so we gave him a whole bunch of tools and techniques on how to do that. And that is something that we coach people on. I'm very happy to coach any of you that want help with starting a blog or doing something that I do, or just any business in general. We do help people with that. But one of the things was he wanted to interview some women that he had been sleeping with and dating on his channel. And he was really nervous to do that. And so we sort of just really gave him permission and told him how to do it, like logistically how to set it up, but really just gave him permission. And so he did 2 really cool interviews with 2 women that he had met and dated and had sex with. And that was really cool. They were actually really cool interviews. The girls were really cool as well. They were very sweet. They seemed like very genuinely sweet, lovely people. And he did 2 like hour-long interviews. And that seems like a small thing, but it's really fucking nerve-wracking to start a YouTube channel or a blog or a podcast. Any of you that have started your own content or thought about it, you know how fucking intimidating it is at the start. It's really scary. Like, it's not a big deal now. I'll make myself big for a second, but like looking you in the eyes, let's get real close. Looking you in the eyes was really fucking terrifying. When I first started doing this shit, it was unbelievably scary. I was so scared to look at that black void. The camera is just like a black void. There's like a little black hole, you know, where the shutter is, where the lens is, I guess. I was really terrified. And so starting a YouTube channel is ballsy as fuck. And then doing 2 interviews with people is even more scary. My first interviews were terrifying. So that was one of his, I know it might not seem like the big glamorous, crazy achievement that he's done here, but that was one of the things he was the most sort of nervous about. He had so many questions and he was procrastinating so much. He asked us like 100 questions before he actually did it. And, you know, at some point I was like, bro, these questions don't matter. It's okay if you do a shitty interview. Give yourself permission to suck. It's okay if these women suck in the interview. They've never done an interview either. So it's 2 people that have never done an interview sitting down together. Yeah, it's probably not going to go brilliantly. So just do your best. It's okay if it sucks. And then finally he did it. I was really, really, really proud of him for that. So he says, I made 50 plus posts on the Facebook group. Yeah, he posted multiple times a day, really. I approached 60 women in a day. Yeah, I forgot about that. Holy fuck. So I know I said before that this guy took baby steps every day and sometimes he took crazy steps. That was one of those crazy steps. I remember also we had one coaching client many years ago, and this guy actually came back to coaching recently, like 6 months ago, and that guy had approached 124 women in a day. So that tells you the numbers that are possible. And no, you don't have to approach 60 women or 124 women in a day, but it does tell you what's possible. Like a lot of the time we'll say, I talked to 3 women this week, and that's brilliant. That's absolutely fucking incredible. Give yourself a big pat on the back for that. That's amazing. Especially if you were nice to those women, you gave them some compliments, you probably made 3 women feel nice about themselves. Isn't that beautiful? But this shows you what's possible. You can approach 60 women in a day, make 60 women in a day smile, tell them they're pretty, ask them out. Like 60 women, you get to make their day a tiny bit brighter, or attempt to. Or you could do 124 women if you really want to. So yeah, a lot of the time we have no idea what's possible. I remember one time I sat down and I was like, what is the most amount of videos I can do for this channel in one day? And I pushed myself like fucking crazy. And I did, I think, 25 videos in one day. And they weren't all long, hour-long videos. Some of them were like 10 minutes long. A couple of them were YouTube shorts. Some of them were podcasts, which are a bit more chill because I don't have to have the camera on. I just sit back and relax. But I did like 24 or something pieces of content in one day over like 12 or 16 hours. And I was exhausted for the next couple of days. Like that was very tiring. But it shows you that a lot of the time, we're putting in the effort, we're putting in the numbers game, but there's always like a next level that we're allowed to get to if we want to. And if you're not having the results that you want, or you're feeling like your progress is slow, you're allowed to do like twice as much or 10 times as much if you want to. You don't have to. You don't have to beat yourself up because you're not talking to 60 women a week or a day. But that option is there for you if you feel like you're not happy with your results. You can always do more. There's always more that you can do. And his final thoughts are, here's what I learned from this group. It's everything done in this group is stuff that isn't new or complex. It's all just basic personal development. Everyone here, actually, let's stick on that point for a second. Yeah, like a lot of the advice that I give you guys is not really complicated, and you girls as well. Like I'm not giving you any complicated secrets or something. And I've talked about this a lot, like something that I like to do in my coaching a lot. And I do this with some of you in the audience, but it's harder because we're not having a conversation, which again, on that note, you're very welcome to come to the coaching program or those $200 coaching calls that I offer. And then we can go back and forwards. And this coaching thing is so much easier. It's a lot more difficult to coach all of you or to help all of you listening right now when it's a one-way conversation, because we can't go back and forwards. I can't get you to be part of your own journey. I just have to talk at you. And sometimes I have to make assumptions. Sometimes I have to guess things. Sometimes I get it wrong. Sometimes I have to try and read between the lines. And yeah, I'm going to make a mistake. It's not even a mistake. It's like, I can't know everything unless you're going to have a conversation with me. So there's links to the big coaching program and the $200 coaching calls down below. But yeah, like one thing I do in the coaching program and on those coaching calls with people is I will show you that the information or the answer is already inside you. You just didn't think to look there. And it's often a lot more simple than you think. Like, how do I get a girlfriend? Improve your looks and go talk to lots of women. That's it. Like, improve yourself and go talk to women. You can improve your appearance. You can improve your confidence. You can improve your self-love. You can improve your mindset. You know, the Play to Win video course helps you with that, all of that shit. But it's really just improve yourself and talk to more people. How do I build a business? Improve the product or the service and then just offer it to a lot of people. So again, the same thing, improve and then play the numbers game. How do I lose weight? Just go to the gym consistently and eat less than you burn, or burn more than you eat. That's it. It's not complicated. Like, most of this shit is not complicated. We make it complicated with our limiting beliefs and our egos and our thoughts and all of that. We don't mean to, but we're the one that complicates it. But yeah, as this guy figured out, like, all of this stuff is pretty fucking easy. It's not new. Like, I'm not giving you some big secret that's never been told to you ever before. It's the basic shit. So a lot of the coaching program, the benefit of the coaching program is that people are gently reminding you that this is not difficult. Like, it's not. It's really not. It seems like it. And I get, for a lot of you listening, you think, bro, dating's impossible. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, because you don't know what you're doing. If you just had someone there, I'm right here and I'm offering myself to you. But if you had someone there to be like, nah, bro, it's not complicated. Just improve yourself and talk to girls. Here's how you do that. Like, someone to sort of baby step and walk you through what to do, then you realize it's not really that complicated. That is one of the benefits of a coaching program. That's kind of what you're paying a coach for, to show you that it's not complicated. Because when someone has done something enough times, they realize how simple it actually is. That is what you're saying. So on that note, if you find a coach or a pickup artist or a guru or someone like that who's making it very complicated and telling you that they're going to sell you their 10-step formula and you have to follow this formula, you have to learn all this jargon and all this complicated shit and you have to do it perfectly and you got to execute on it perfectly. If they're making it very fucking complicated to the point where you just almost don't understand what's going on, that would be an indication that they're trying to sell you something, or that maybe they don't have as much experience or knowledge, or they're not as wise as what you might be hoping from a teacher. So the best teachers make it unbelievably simple. Intelligence isn't having a lot of jargon and all of that kind of stuff. It's literally the opposite. Intelligence is being able to say something in one simple sentence, being able to break it down for someone and explain it like they're 5. You know, there's a subreddit for that called Explain It Like I'm 5. And people literally go on there and go, I don't understand quantum fucking mechanics. Can you explain it to me like I'm 5? And the wise people are the people who can jump in there and make an analogy that a 5-year-old would fucking understand. And then you go, holy shit, you must really understand this subject to be able to break it down for me. So yeah, a lot of what you find when you come to any decent coaching program or any decent channel, which hopefully that's me, you know, I'm not the only one that's giving decent advice, obviously, but hopefully my advice is somewhat decent. What you find is, like, it's really not that complicated. Improve yourself and go talk to more women, or improve your product and go offer it to more people. It's not really that complicated. So yeah, he figured that out. He goes on to say, everyone here is a coach/student of some sort. Yeah. We all, to some degree, have learned from each other and or can contribute in terms of personal experience to each other. Yeah, so that's one of the benefits of why I have a group coaching program, because at the start, I only did one-on-one coaching. And I'm just one person. Like, yeah, I've learned a lot, I've done a lot and all of that, but I only have one set of personal experiences. But if there's a whole bunch of other people in there, and now we have multiple coaches, like when you come to the coaching program, you're getting 4 coaches all coaching you at the same time. Me, Cam, Ed, and Taylor. We all have vastly different life experiences. We are all such fundamentally different people that it's fucking hilarious. Like coming to the coaching program, you're just getting like 4 radically different people. Like Ed is the fucking beautiful, autistic, libertarian guy who has spreadsheets of like every woman he's ever approached and hit on dating apps. He's so unbelievably like numbers oriented and like mathematically minded and just brilliant in that way. Cam is like the carefree fucking dude who travels all around the world. He's like a backpacker. He'll stay in hostels. He's just chill and he's the fashion expert and all of that. He's like the chill, cool guy in the group. Taylor is like the fucking hippie, like the spiritual, beautiful, like ayahuasca, like LSD, magic mushrooms hippie who will just, and by the way, he's never done any of those things for legal disclaimer. But Taylor is the hippie of the group. He's like the free love, beautiful, sweet hippie. And I'm a little bit like that myself. But yeah, I'm also the rambunctious, excited. I guess I give a lot of love and stuff like that. I'm like the golden retriever of the group. That's probably what you're getting from me a lot. The golden retriever who sometimes loves to overanalyze things and be autistically minded and be ultra honest and be a bit like a spiritual loving hippie as well. So you're getting all those different things when you come to the coaching group. And then on top of that, there's all of the coaching clients in the group helping each other. And so I've just found, or we've just found, the more people in a coaching program that we have, whether that's the other students and clients, as well as multiple coaches, it just helps people more. And it's a hell of a burden. It was a hell of a burden for me to put on myself. I didn't mean to. I just thought it was what you're supposed to do. It was a hell of a burden for me to put on myself to be a sole one-on-one coach. And so even if people come to me for one-on-one coaching now, like we have as part of the coaching program, you can almost like upgrade, I guess. You can pay me more. You can pay me an obscene amount of money and I will do one-on-one coaching with you. And I will do like weekly group coaching, weekly one-on-one coaching calls with you where we'll sit down for hours, sometimes like 5 fucking hour long sessions. And you can message me every day and I will reply and all of that. But I found even with those people that come to me for one-on-one coaching program, I make sure they're still in the group coaching program as well because they get way more results. So yeah, anyway, that's just sort of a separate aside. If any of you were thinking of starting your own sort of coaching program, which some of you might, who fucking knows, you might go down the same pathway as me, I would really, really advise that you have some sort of group coaching program. Like allow the students or the clients to talk to each other and they will help each other far more. Something else that we do in the coaching program is we set people up with accountability partners. And this guy on the screen, this guy, had 2 accountability partners. They had like a little trio of 3 of them keeping each other accountable. And I believe they're still keeping each other accountable even to this day. Like he made this post a couple of months ago and we've had clients that come through the coaching program. They have a accountability partner that we set them up with. And then like 2 or 3 years later, they're still accountability partners. So they'll meet like once a week, on Zoom or whatever, or they'll message every day and they just push each other. So as much as you possibly can, have other people help you, or if you're going to start your own coaching program, allow the people to help each other, like encourage them to help each other, and then have as many coaches as you can if that's something you want to eventually do. But yeah, the more the merrier when it comes to self-improvement. And if you don't have any money and you can't do all of that, just find some sort of forum or a in-person accountability group, like something. Have some friends that care about that similar goals to you. Don't do this shit alone. You're playing on hard mode. You're playing on impossible mode, basically. So he goes on to say, everyone here I have learned from in some way. Yeah, like there's a lot of brilliant people in the coaching program. That's sort of one of the things you're paying for to be in this coaching program is like, I'm going to be in there with a bunch of badass guys and badass girls, and they're going to do some amazing shit, and I'm going to learn from them. Because like some of these people have gone way further than I have. We have people in the coaching program that are earning like $50,000, $60,000 a month every month. We do that here in the coaching program sometimes. Like I've done 2 videos, one that was like we earned $50,000 this month, another one was like we earned $40,000 this month. That's over like a 2-year period. Most of the months are not like that. So that's like 2 months in the last, really you could say 2 months in the last 5 years, we've hit that amount of money in a month. Most months are way less than that. I'll be very honest and transparent about that. But lots of the coaching clients are fucking killing it and they're earning like crazy money. We've had millionaires in there, like people with Lamborghinis, and not that those are the sole source of happiness. You guys know my thoughts on all of that. But the point is, these are people that are very, very, very successful at what they do, and you get to learn from them. So you're basically paying to network with a bunch of other legends who are further ahead than you and probably further ahead than me in some ways. Guys that are way better at bodybuilding or way better at relationships even. Right now in the coaching program, we have a guy that's been with his girlfriend for 10 years. We coached some other people that had been together for like 9 years. And so we learn from them. I will even throw to them sometimes in the group coaching calls, and I'll be like, hey, what do you think about this? I'd like to learn from you. I've only been with my girlfriend for 6.5 years. You've been with your partner for 10 years. What have you learned in that time? And then we get to have this beautiful discussion. So yeah, lots of legends in the group. This is what he plans on accomplishing after this group. He wants to have his first threesome. Yeah, he will. Like, he was already starting to work on that. Having a blog and a YouTube channel, have 100 to 500 plus videos and blog posts. Yeah, I told him to just play the numbers game, pump out a bunch of content, and some of it will be good. And then on top of that, I taught him how to share it with people because, yeah, you want to share your content as well as just pumping it out. But you don't have to share it with a ton of people. Just post some of the stuff on Reddit, post it on Twitter. Like, if you see someone suffering with something on a forum, record them a piece of content, like a video or a blog post, and then give it to them and say, hey man, I recorded this for you for free because I want to help you. And then you give it to them. And some of those people become your most loyal watchers or readers. That's how I built up my audience. I literally just went on forums, like a bunch of forums. I found people that were suffering, and I just wrote them an article, and I said, here you go, man. I hope this helps. That was it. You don't say, here you go, hope this helps. Please like and subscribe, buddy. It would really mean a lot to me. You can say that if you want to, but most of the time you get kicked off a forum for spamming. So you just casually post it and be like, hey, bro, I hope this helps. And then that's it. And some of those people follow you. That might be even why some of you are here, because maybe I answered some of your YouTube comments, or I answered your forum posts or posts on Reddit or something. And you go, wow, that helped. I think I'm going to keep watching this guy. So that's helped a lot. He also is working on having 3 digital marketing jobs being overemployed. So overemployed basically means you have multiple jobs that don't take 38 or 40 hours a week to do. So you find a bunch of jobs that you can do all the work in like 10 or 15 hours a week, and then you work 3 of those jobs. So you're working 40 hours a week, but across 3 different jobs. So you're getting paid 3 times. So you find jobs that you can be ultra efficient at and work like 3 times harder than everyone else, or 3 times more efficiently, I guess you would say. And then you get paid 3 times as much because this guy's got big plans to make a ton of money, save up, do all sorts of cool shit. He's working on being able to approach 9 out of every 10 women. He's not far off that. Like, that probably won't take him very long. He wants to maximize his swag factor, his killer instinct. Well, he already has that. He's already ridiculously open and honest and upfront. Social freedom, he's already really good with that. His looks, yep, that's just him losing weight and continuing to work on his style and fashion. His sex appeal, yeah, like he's already doing all of this stuff. He wants to retire within 5 to 10 years. Like I said, this guy has big plans, and I have no doubt he will achieve them. Like, this is absolutely a guy who just absolutely embraces life, gives himself permission to suck, takes a ton of action. He goes on to say he wants to gain some lean muscle and have an athletic body. He'll do that for sure. And he finishes up by saying, I end this post with this. Do what you feel you need to do to push yourself in the right direction and be a team player of some sort. He absolutely was. We really taught him the value. He already kind of understood it, but we really drilled into him the value of giving value to other people. Helping other people, helping the women that you're dating, helping other guys in the coaching group. Like, the more you can help other people, the more they give back to you. And he found that a lot. He was very kind and generous to a lot of the women that he dated. He's just like a nice guy. And he was very kind and generous to all of us in the coaching program. And so people wanted to fucking help him. A lot of the women wanted to help him. He even had one woman who was a little bit older than him. I think she was like in her 40s or something. And I think he's in his late 20s. Yeah, I think he's like 29 or something. He had this woman that he was dating in her 40s, and he was so unbelievably nice to her, and he would give her lots of compliments, and he'd listen to her, and he was just sweet. He's just a nice guy. And at some point, she started making him dinner, and then she started buying him dinner, and he was like, look, you don't have to like buy me dinner. She's like, I want to. You've been like really nice to me. I want to be nice to you, and I have lots of money because, I'm in my 40s, and I'm doing pretty well. I'd like to take you out to a fancy dinner or take you out to the casino and we have a cool night. So they'd go out, they'd buy fancy cocktails and have a nice dinner, and then he'd take her home and they'd bang each other's buttholes and have a crazy, sexual experience. So yeah, he really embraced the idea that if you give to other people, some of them will give back to you. It's basic reciprocity. Goes on to say, I've just always wanted to be part of a team and to be a team player. It always felt more fun that way. This is why we're in this group, in the coaching group, to be team players, to support and encourage each other, to take those actions, even if they suck, as in, you give yourself permission to suck. And that's been pretty much the catalyst ever since I joined this group. It gave me the much needed spark to take action. Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to build with this YouTube channel, right? We're trying to build a community here. And lots of you are taking action. Lots of you make comments and posts and you share with us what you're struggling with. And we get in there and we answer the questions. I see a lot of you answering each other's questions with little bits of motivation and, hey, bro, I promise you can do this. Or, hey, woman, I promise you can do this. I think that's fucking incredible. It's what we're trying to build here. Again, I thank you all with much love. I will continue my journey in the Discord group. All of your brotherly love and support and encouragement is much appreciated. I am very grateful for it. Yeah, he practiced his gratitude a lot, which is something that we encourage a lot in the coaching program, and I encourage all of you to do. Be grateful for what you have, be grateful for the people that help you, be grateful for life itself, and then beautiful things come to you. People like to be around the person who tells them, I'm grateful for you, or I appreciate you, or thank you. People are like, holy shit, I just want to be around this person. So you get more of what you want. People want to be around you more. They want to help you more. Because if you help someone and then they say, thank you, I am grateful for that, or I appreciate that, then you go, that was nice. Now I want to help them again. And so the more grateful you can be for other people, including people that you're dating, like just be nice to them. Give them compliments. Tell them that you appreciate them. Shit like that. The more they want to fucking be nice to you and buy you dinner and shit and take you out to a casino and have a fancy night with you because you're nice to them. It's funny that there's sort of this idea that like nice guys finish last. And it's like, no, doormats finish last. Like if you have no boundaries and no self-esteem and you let people walk all over you, then yeah, sure, you finish last. But being nice has this negative reputation, like a nice guy, or he's a nice guy, that's bad. No, being nice to people is the fucking most simple way to get more of what you want. And you get to feel good because you're being nice in itself is its own reward. So yeah, he goes on to say, I wish you all of the best of success on this journey. Yeah, so what an absolute legend. Really, really, really took a ton of action. And he wasn't perfect. Like he really wasn't. He wasn't perfect with his appearance. There were some days he was in a rut. He doesn't talk about that as much here, but yeah, he wasn't perfect at all. And look at all that he was able to achieve. So absolute legend. Really appreciated having him in the group. I say this all the time, but if any of you want to come to the coaching program, hell yeah, I would love to have you there. I'm happy to jump on a free call with you and talk through any fears that you might have, like fears of now isn't the right time, especially as we're in November. A lot of people go, fuck, I should wait till the new year. No, you'll just wait till the new year and then you'll make the next excuse. Plus, if you wait until the new year, you're basically telling yourself, I only work on my goals when all the situations, like everything is perfect. What happens when halfway through, your dating life or your sex life or your business or whatever, you hit another roadblock or you hit a snag? You're just going to go, oh, circumstances aren't perfect. I guess I should stop because I've already taught myself that I only take action and I only commit to something and I only go all in when everything's perfect. And so the second things aren't perfect, well, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to pause. I'm going to quit. I'm going to give up. So you're sort of teaching yourself something quite negative if you wait until circumstances are perfect. But anyway, I'm happy to talk through all of this stuff with you if you would like to on a free call. I also have those $200 coaching calls if you think that you would benefit from one of them, which you would, but those are down below. As always, you wonderful, lovely human beings, go out there, crush your goals, and take a little bit of a page out of this guy's book. He wasn't perfect. He gave himself permission to suck, and all he did was show up every day and take action. He went all in. We obviously helped him with that, and so we're here for you if you want that as well. But take a page out of his book and take a little bit of action every day, and then just keep fucking going. You got this.